Now, small and medium enterprises and SMEs make up over 90% of businesses in Namibia, according to an IPPR report of October 2023. They play a role in driving economic growth through empowerment creation, manufacturing, and value addition. One of such enterprises is Oyetu Naturals, a Namibian skincare company that produces body butters, oils, scrubs, and soaps using locally sourced ingredients such as marula, kalahari, melon, and moringa. Now, the business works directly with Namibian farmers and harvesters and is certified as a Proudly Namibian product. Now, as the Commonwealth Business Summit continues here in Windhoek, bringing together leaders under the theme, One Resilient Common Future, the spotlight is on innovation, trade, and inclusive economic growth, areas where SMEs are critical role players. Joining us this morning is the founder of Oyetu Naturals, that is Paulina Ita, to share on how small enterprises are contributing to the local economy and why adding value to raw materials is essential for long-term national development. Madam Paulina, good morning, and thank you so much for making time to speak to us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, let's begin with a background on Oyetu Naturals. When did that business start, and how did you identify this opportunity to develop Namibia-sourced skincare products?
So I founded Oyetu Naturals in 2019, mainly from my personal experience with being allergic to and reacting to products that have synthetic ingredients and fragrances. So I decided to do a bit of research on ancient raw materials such as the marula and kalahari melon that have been used by our forefathers way back. And after doing the research and trying out a few formulas, I finally found what works for me, especially for us with sensitive skin and type 4C hair. And that's how I came up with Oyetu Naturals. And most of the time, these raw materials have been leaving the country as just raw material without any value added to it. So with Oyetu, we now add value right here at home.
No need to export them out.
Yes.
Indeed. Now, according to the Ministry of Industrialization and Trade, SMEs account for the majority of the employment and activity within the country. Let's talk to you about why do SMEs play a big role in strengthening the Namibian economy? What is their role?
I truly believe that SMEs are the heartbeat, of the economy, and mostly because they contribute to job creation and income, as well as just skill development and poverty reduction. For instance, with Oyetu Naturals, we work with women cooperators. They then train women in local communities how to sustainably source these raw materials and prepare them. So we don't only add value to the natural resources, but we also contribute to the livelihood of these people.
I mentioned in the fact that, it seems like there's a long value addition. Talking about harvesters, those who are collecting them, those bringing them to you. So they the dollar is trickling down to many different people who are within the sector.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Namibia is known for exporting majority of its, natural materials, like marula oil and kalahari melon seed oil. You are processing them here locally, adding value addition to this project. Have you seen growth in this sector when you started participating in this sector, and are you also able to trade in terms of competitiveness?
Well, when it comes to the cosmetic industry in Namibia, it's quite very small. We're still, getting there in terms of also just regulations and policies and all of that. But I must say that I have seen a significant difference from when I start until up where I am now. There have been a lot of involvement from the NCRSD, NIPDB, Ministry of Trade, in terms of just giving us the necessary skills and everything that we need to build our businesses.
So there is support indeed.
Yes.
That's helping you. Now, one of the challenges highlighted specifically for African SMEs, which is inclusive of Namibia, is the issue of access to capital. Talking about access to the market, you're talking about the fact that the Namibian market is quite small, and the issue of infrastructure. What barriers have you experienced while running Oyetu Naturals here in Namibia, and also possibly when you're thinking about you want to scale it out and expand it?
Well, like many other SMEs, getting the funding and all the necessary infrastructure is quite a challenge and has been a challenge for us. I must say that especially in the beginning, when we initially started, everything we used to do by hand. We're fortunate enough to receive a few equipments from the Ministry of Trade. It's the equipment scheme.
Yeah, the equipment scheme.
Yes. They managed to give us a few equipments that kickstart our business well off. And I must say I was also fortunate enough to win the National Innovation Challenge for Women that is run by NCRSD.
Okay.
And with this grant, I am now busy, upgrading my brand further in terms of better packaging, better branding, and also getting equipments that also now help us to scale out more. Yes.
So there is opportunities obviously that
yes, there is opportunities. And in terms of market, we are still working our way into the market locally. And once we are able, to set up our brand and everything properly, then we are able to export international. Although we do have a little clientele that is outside Namibia, we are hoping to build that further.
Okay. Now we must also recognize that we understand that your company is also recognized by the National Innovation Challenges and WIPO for intellectual property protection. How important has this been to ensure that intellectual property is protected? Does it lead to the growth of your brand and protection of your brand if it's recognized and protected?
Yes, you see, when you run something that is uniquely yours, this is an innovation, a brand that I'm starting from scratch. It's very important that you protect it, and that's where intellectual property comes in. And being recognized by the World Intellectual Property Organization, it has really just, opened up my eyes on how important it is to trademark my brand. So Oyetu Naturals is currently a trademark brand, and also just to protect my formulations, and everything that has to do with my business, so that in a case where you do go international, you are well protected. And it's also just another way of revenue creation, because when you have a protected brand, it means you can now how do I say, people can buy your trademark to trade in other countries. Yes.
Indeed, it's a revenue that you are creating for a lifetime.
Yes.
Indeed, even if you're not doing anything, someone is buying it and reselling it, they still have to pay some sort of royalties to you.
Yes, and also IP now comes in us having to protect our raw materials here in Namibia as well. Yes.
Indeed, remarkable. Now, the Commonwealth Business Summit is bringing, opportunities such as, exploring business opportunities in trade, investment, entrepreneurs. From you being here at this summit, how do you think summits of this nature are important when it comes to supporting small businesses like yours, reaching wider regional and international markets? We've got 56 countries of the Commonwealth that are here. It's got a population of over more than 1 billion people that are within the Commonwealth. Is this an important platform for you?
Yes, it's very important, especially for an SME like us. Here we don't only attend in terms of, listening to the presentation, or we get to showcase our products to all those people that are attending. And we also get to tell our stories, we get to network, and also just create a connection with potential buyers, potential suppliers of raw materials as well. So most of the time, SMEs don't always get platforms like other big businesses. So when we get platforms like this, it really contributes a great deal to our business, because, networking, there's power in networking with, people all around the globe.
People all around the globe. Well, Proudly Ita, thank you so much for making time to speak to us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Now, that was Proudly Ita, who is a founder of Oyetu Naturals, talking to us about the role of SMEs in driving local economic growth as well as adding value to raw materials, and she's such one example. Now, that also concludes our engagement here at this side. Now we're going back to studio, where Johnny Konja is on standby to continue for the third and final hour of Good Morning Namibia. Johnny Konja is back to you in studio, and it's goodbye from us here at Make Your Hotel.